Many Happy Returns by Killabeez. Narrated by Tall Tales and Bedtime Stories. Rating is general audiences. No archive warnings apply. Category is female-female. Fandom is supernatural. Relationships: Donna Hanscum / Jody Mills. Kaya Nieves / Claire Novak. Jody Mills and Claire Novak. Dean Winchester and Sam Winchester. Characters: Jody Mills, Donna Hanscum, Claire Novak, Kaya Nieves, Alex Jones, Supernatural, Patience Turner, Sam Winchester, Dean Winchester. Additional tags: Domestic Fluff, First Kiss, Background Relationships, Post-Episode, Season 15, Episode 19, Inherit the Earth, Wayward Daughters, Supernatural, Episode Season 13, Episode 10, Wayward Sisters, Fem / Author's Favorite. And this is part of the Supernatural Spring Fling 2021 collection. Summary: Jody's family takes time on her birthday to show her she's loved, and Jody has a lot of feelings about that. Some of them unexpected. Notes: the problem is figuring out which part is the path and which part is the happiness. Richard Seiken. Jody didn't remember her own birthday until lunchtime, when her staff surprised her with cupcakes and a card covered in signatures. She surprised herself with unexpected emotion in response. Normally, she'd make a joke to cover, but as she looked at her coworkers' faces, she saw the stress and exhaustion of the last few months reflected back, along with their genuine happiness at the chance to surprise her. Thanks, you guys. This is great. It's good to remember the things worth celebrating. She let the moment breathe, then said, "Now, please tell me one of these is chocolate." 3 months had passed since what most of the world had taken to calling the event. Jody'd heard everything from the blip to Judgment Day and at least a dozen other names, but the event was the one that stuck. For 6 days and change, every person on the planet ceased to exist. And then, between one moment and the next, they were back, in the exact same place, doing exactly what they'd been doing when they disappeared. The kicker was, they hadn't all disappeared at once, and time hadn't stood still while they were gone. If they'd been eating a meal, their food had been sitting and rotting for all that time. If they'd been drinking an ice-cold beer, it was warm and flat. If they'd been driving, inertia did its thing. And if they'd had the misfortune to be one of the last people taken, they'd seen their friends, families, loved ones turn to dust before their eyes. Those who'd been the first to go were the lucky ones. Needless to say, law enforcement these last few months had been a challenge. Humanity was dealing with a global case of PTSD. Atheists and people of faith alike had had their worldviews shaken to the core. Rapture cults and conspiracy theories had cropped up, new ones every day, it seemed, along with every other kind of extreme behavior humans were capable of. Jody had lost a quarter of her personnel within the first month, and finding replacements had proven nigh impossible. She still had nightmares in which she watched Kaya, Alex, and Claire disappear in shimmers of smoke. And though Sam and Dean had told her the truth about what happened, knowing was, in some ways, worse than not knowing. Around 6, her phone buzzed. One message from Donna. "Hiya, hun. You working late tonight?" Donna had been her rock through all of this, and the two of them had fallen into a ritual of sending text messages first thing in the morning and at the end of the day, as a kind of check-in. It helped. More than once, Jody had wished that Donna wasn't a day's drive away, and today, especially, she was missing that infectious smile and energy. She wasn't looking forward to going home to an empty house. "Thinking about it," she texted back. "Always more to do." "The heck with that. Tomorrow's another day. Anything on fire?" Jody smiled. "Not technically." "Then go. Home." "Yes, Mom." She considered staying anyway, but disappointing Donna was one of her least favorite things in the world. It was easier to do as she said. The porch light was on when she pulled up, but the driveway was empty. Alex had taken an extra shift at the hospital. Claire and Kaya were staying at the cabin while they saved up money for an apartment. With thoughts of a glass of wine, a hot bath, and some mindless TV, Jody let herself in and hit the light switch. What the? It took her a moment to absorb the transformation of her living room. Tiny lights sparkled atop the curtain rods and around the kitchen pass-through, and the table was decked with a tablecloth, colorful partyware, and a huge flower arrangement. Dozens of balloons tied in bunches floated in the corners, drinks chilled in a tub on the kitchen counter, gifts were stacked on the coffee table, and a happy birthday banner had been strung across the far wall. Something smelled delicious, like basil and garlic and baked cheese. "Happy birthday, Jodes," a quiet voice said, and she turned to see Donna herself emerge from the hallway, her smile beaming its unmatchable warmth. Jody, at a loss for words, felt her chest grow tight. "It's okay, guys," Donna said. "Come on out." Alex's door opened, and out came not only Alex, Claire, and Kaya, but also Patience, and finally Sam and Dean. "Surprise!" Donna beamed wider and hugged her. Overwhelmed, Jody hugged her back, then each of the others.
"We figured it was a bad idea to jump out at you," Dean said as he took his turn, "seeing as how you'd probably shoot us."
"Or cut our heads off," Claire added. "Good call," Jody said, finding her voice at last. "But I can't believe you did this. How'd you even know it was my birthday?" "It was Donna's idea," Alex said. "She planned the whole thing." "Oh, now, that's not true. You all helped." Sam's hugs were still the best thing ever.
"Happy birthday, Jody."
"Thanks, kids," she said, squeezing back, and if a few tears got soaked up by his shirt, he was kind enough to let it slide. Dean clapped his hands together and strode over to the stereo.
"So, let's say we get this party started."
"Careful with the vinyl," Jody warned him. Dean shot her a look of pure affront.
"What am I, a savage?"
"So," she asked Claire when they'd laid waste to Alex's homemade lasagna, Donna's Caesar salad, and garlic bread a la Patience, and the cooks were in the kitchen cleaning up. Sam and Dean had claimed the couch, engaged in some sort of heated discussion about who knew what. She'd caught something about silver bullets and yarrow, and frankly, it was her birthday, and she was tired of all things hunting. "So what?" Claire asked. "What's next for you? I know last time we talked, you and Kaya were still figuring things out. It's been a couple of months, so I'm just wondering, what I'm going to do with my life?" "I was thinking more about the next 6 months or so, but sure." Claire's eyes went to Kaya, as they often did. Kaya was over by the stereo, intent on Jody's record collection. "I'm keeping my options open."
"Uh-huh,"
Jody said. "I mean, that's good. Any thoughts on what those options might be?" Claire studied her hands. "It's okay. I'm not judging. I'm asking. As someone who cares about you." "She wants me to stop hunting," Claire said quietly. Her eyes darted to Jody's, then back down. "I mean, she hasn't said that, but I know it's how she feels." "And how do you feel?" "Honestly, I don't know. Weird." "How come?" Jody asked gently. "Weird how?" Kaya switched the record from REM to the Pretenders. "I'll Stand By You." "I kind of don't hate it. The idea of stopping, I mean. And it feels like a cop-out, Like, I thought this is what my life would be. And then she came back and I don't know." Jody nodded. "You want the good news
or the bad news? Claire huffed a laugh. You know me. Bad news first. Okay. Bad news? Without meaning to, Jody found herself looking toward the kitchen, where Donna was managing operations with gentle but efficient precision. Whatever they tell you, it doesn't get any easier. Just when you think you have it figured out, somebody comes along and flips the whole game board, and you have to deal with it. And the good news? Jody leaned in and rested her shoulder against Claire's. What you decide today doesn't have to be forever. Follow your heart, and if it starts to feel wrong, you can change your mind. And that's true for the rest of your life. Claire nodded. At last, her gaze rose back to Kaya, and Jody felt the power and light of that miracle despite everything. She'd been a woman of faith pretty much her entire life, and that bedrock had crumbled to ash in the last couple of years, given all that she'd learned. But bringing Kaya back, being able to give that gift of hope to Claire, was still a bright star in the fabric of the world, and one she wouldn't trade for anything. Jody thought she was okay until Alex brought out the cake, obviously homemade, with some kind of writing on top. When she saw what it said, a lump rose in her throat, and she couldn't speak. We love you, Jody. Eye swimming, she looked at Alex, seeing a confident, strong young woman who took care of everyone around her. Beside her, Patience, so smart and self-assured, the two of them having formed a deep friendship over the last few years. Kaya, who'd survived unimaginable terrors her entire life, and still found it in herself to love and believe in hope. Sam and Dean, larger than life, sometimes so much she couldn't get her head around it. Claire, her fierce, sensitive firebrand. And Donna, her anchor, the best friend she'd ever had. She shook her head. Guys, this is too much. Hey now, Donna said, moving to put an arm around her. She squeezed, then left her arm there for support. It's been a rough year. We wanted to do something special for you. Well, you did. Jody laughed and dashed tears away, but more threatened to fall. It's not a party until somebody cries, right? Dean said, Hey, if it wasn't for you, pretty much none of us would be here. You know that, right? He's right. Sam agreed. The girls all nodded, and Donna smiled up at her. I don't know what to say. That's the beauty of it, Donna told her. You don't have to say anything. You just have to eat cake. Jody took a deep breath. She gave a sharp nod and got hold of herself, raising her beer in salute. Cake, I can do. Claire and Kaya were the first to leave as the party wound down around midnight. You getting soft on me? Jody said when Claire hugged her goodbye without prompting. She held on tight and rested her chin on Claire's head before letting her go. It's your birthday. Claire shrugged and gave a wry half-smile. A special occasion. So noted. We should head out, too, Dean said as he and Sam moved toward the door. Gonna crash at the Rushmore. Head home in the morning, unless something pops up on the wire. You don't have to stay at a motel. There's the couch, and I've still got a Murphy bed in the extra room. Dean and Sam exchanged a look, and Dean said, Thank you, but we should get out of your hair. You've got a full house as it is. So long as you know, you're always welcome. Donna joined them near the door, and more hugs were exchanged. She and Jody stood in the doorway and watched the Winchesters head down the block toward wherever they'd parked the Impala. As always, they moved in sync, no discernible space between them. Donna mused, Gotta admit, I never thought I'd see them so... Happy? Jody finished. Maybe happy's not the right word. Content? Donna suggested. Jody nodded. I'm glad for them. God knows they earned it. No kiddin'. As they went back inside, Jody said, God knows. I forget sometimes, and then I say something like that. I know what you mean. Still getting used to the idea that Jack... Donna shook her head. Oofda. Alex and Patience finished cleaning up and emerged from the kitchen. We're gonna hang out in my room for a while, said Alex. Of course. You girls have fun. After they'd gone, Jody said, Hey. When she had Donna's attention, she said, Thank you for this. Think nothing of it. Just thought you could use a pick-me-up. I needed it. More than I knew. And it's not nothing, so really, I mean it. Thank you. Donna touched her arm. You're welcome. Anytime. She looked around the room. Anywho, let's say we finish off that bottle of wine. Later, when the bottle was empty and they'd opened another, Jody said, I'm happy for them, Sam and Dean. But I'm also... knowing what we know, do you think things will ever feel normal again? Define normal. You know what I mean. Donna chuckled. And I thought vampires were a game changer. Exactly. I think back to my life before, and it's like it was somebody else. I didn't know anything. If you could, would you go back? To not knowing? Believe me, I've had my days. She shook her head. But, no, I wouldn't. Me neither. Because then we wouldn't be here right now. They raised their glasses to one another. Jody studied her friend in the soft glow of the party lights. Donna loved her job. She loved hibbing. Jody would never ask her to leave. And Jody wouldn't leave Sioux Falls as long as the girls were here, but... I wish you lived closer, she said before she could think better of it. Donna looked at her fondly, but her smile was sad. Yeah, me too. The wine and the feeling in her chest made Jody brave. Do you ever ask yourself, what does our happily ever after even look like? Donna gave her a curious look. Sometimes. Why do you ask? These last few months, you've been the best friend anyone could ask for. And I gotta be honest, some days you're the only reason I'm holding it together. A frown marred Donna's face. Jode, what? Jody looked down at her hands. Her heart was beating twice as hard as usual. 2 years ago, you asked me something. And I said that I couldn't. That wasn't me. I remember. Like I said, it don't change our friendship. And I meant it. I know you did. Only lately, I've been wondering... She looked up. What if I was wrong? Donna studied her expression careful, but open. A smile quirked one corner of her mouth. Nothing's changed on my end, if that's what you're asking. Jody's stomach gave a little flip. She held Donna's gaze. Then, before she could second-guess herself, she leaned forward. When their lips met, she closed her eyes. It was chaste, as kisses went. Donna's mouth was warm, her lips very soft. She kissed back gently, and when Jody pulled away, she made no move to stop her. Jody opened her eyes. Donna was right there with her, her expression still warm, still open, still her best friend, but with a light in her eyes that looked like hope.